Hey, tell me about it. It's a grout out there. There's no pot anywhere. What, my plant? Smoked it. Hey, of course it should be legal. Yeah. Look, if Christ had turned straw into pot instead of water into wine, we'd all be smoking up a communion. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Okay, see you, Mom.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. We are busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than A.C. Infinity. A.C. Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of mass hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land? How are you this evening?
Hello, my darlings.
What is up?
What's up? Johnny and Rev on the show. Welcome,
Fucking
guys.
finally.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it. I do, before we get started, have to call you all out for wearing sunglasses indoors,
Cool.
though. So I decided to join you.
Cool. Future's so bright,
It's just the vibe, man. Plus, I got this light right here, dude. Yeah.
I can dig it, man. This looks nice.
Oh, I like the pink ones, man.
Thanks.
We're just really, really worried about early onset glaucoma.
Indeed.
Part of the reason I smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I got the script for. So, what brings you to us, friends? Who are you?
Who are you?
Why
Who
are
is
you
your
here?
daddy?
Well, I think
Who
our
is your
check,
daddy and what
I think
does
our
he
check
do?
to G3 finally paid off because we've been paying her for a couple years to get onto the show. So
You got a
I think
couple
it
more
worked.
coming.
Yeah, we got a couple more payments.
Yeah.
And sending Johnny after Nick a couple times, I think was all
Yep.
it took.
That's all it took.
But thanks for having us, man. Y.A.G.S.I.P is here.
Y.A.G.S.I.P. What is Y.A.G.S.I.P?
Your
Let's
average
pretend
grow.
I'm a
Well, it's a
pretend I'm a
mistake.
5-year-old and I don't know.
It's a virus.
It's a mistake. I like to think of it as our sister podcast.
Yeah, man. It was started in your Discord. It's where Johnny
Brother
and I first
podcast,
met. Yeah.
if you will.
Sister
whatever
works.
you want to call it.
I
It's like a
appreciate it. Especially in the
sister
glasses.
station in radio terms. But like, so wait, it started in our Discord?
Yes, it did.
No shit.
Johnny tells it so lovely. I don't know why he's being all silent all of a sudden.
You're-
Oh, he's
you muted
muted.
yourself.
he's
You
Because
dummy
he's
fuck.
muted. Oh my god.
I thought he was hanging me out to dry here. I was
Dude,
like, why is the
wait.
least talkative of us being forced?
It says you chose to mute yourself, Johnny.
Oh,
I'm
there we
just
go.
gonna.
You
There we go.
son of a
Wait.
I got
bitch,
it.
Johnny.
I did it during the intro. No wonder.
You're just a
wasn't-
masochist like that.
Yeah, it was. My mouth literally has been moving the whole time. I swear to God, we're coming out.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it did. So, man, it started as a fucking argument, basically, in your Discord. We had met. You guys started your Discord. We had been fans of the show, obviously, really early on, and we started an argument over green apple Skittles. And they took them away, man.
Because they suck.
They went back to
They
the
did.
fucking lime
they're
flavor. No, the
terrible.
green apple is fucking way better as a Skittle. The lime Skittle's fucking useless, man. It's like they've got lemon. There's already lemon.
No, we've had this argument, and you've been proven wrong multiple times. We don't need to rehash it now.
Somebody say hash.
So, so it became that kind of banter all the time, back and forth between us, and we got to talking, and it was just like, you know what would be fun is if we kind of had a podcast where we just fucking told our stories back and forth.
Surprised nobody noticed we were out of place.
So-
That looked that
Oh
looks better.
shit.
Like warm apple pie.
Exactly.
no.
Warm apple pie.
Well, that's I love, dude. That's awesome, actually. That you guys came together on our little Discord, our humble little server there, and now you're off. Spread your wings. You're out of the nest, and look, you got
Out lollygagging around. So
Making
Y.A.G.S.I.P
enemies everywhere we go.
just roustabouts hanging out on a
Y.A.G.S.I.P
stoop
started.
somewhere.
It's really
Sleeping in
simple
parks.
how it became Y.A.G. When we got to talking about like an idea for us recording, like we knew we had a good banter back and forth, and we thought some people would at least find it entertaining, and we wanted to just share our gardens and talk to fucking rad people. So it was like, man, we just want to be like fucking average Joes, and it just spiraled into Your Average Grow.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we needed a fucking logo. So I hopped on my iPad and just took the 3 letters and we made a tree, and they became Y.A.G., the Y.A.G. tree. And it just became fucking Y.A.G. So
Well,
acronyms,
the
that's what
logo's
Y.A.G.
sick.
is.
The logo is definitely sick. Johnny, can you bring, or Rev, can you bring it up on your background real quick?
Yeah, I'll switch over. Sorry, I called
Show the
myself
people.
Johnny Apple just to confuse the shit out of everybody.
I see it. He's got frogs in
works.
his name.
It worked.
But so that's awesome. Like, now you're doing your own thing. I like to think we're all still like, a big kind of network of podcasts, like us, you guys, the Crafting Cannabis podcast, and even the Nerd Grows. What's
There
that
we
called
go.
now? The Nerd
Nerd Grow Show.
Grateful
yeah,
Nerd?
Grateful
And then
Nerd
Grateful
podcast.
Nerd,
That's
they
what
have
I was
that
looking
once a
for.
month, man. Shout out Grateful and then Nerd Grows. Although Nerd
Yeah,
Grows and
they're
I
really
have a
fun.
beef because there can only be one redhead. So right now it's me because
Oh, it's like Highlander.
Of
That's
the
one
gingers.
too many, if you ask me.
Does only one soul exist and you guys all fight for it?
Well,
Is that
yeah,
how it
and then
works?
Flammulated Al too. He's a Scottish ginger, so it's even harder because he technically has high ground. So I got to fight from the
Oh,
bastardization.
This
of
is
the
going to be
ginger.
fascinating to
Yeah,
watch.
well, I'll tune in for that one.
I'll get him one day. I've got Johnny on my side.
Oh yeah.
I'll just stick him on a.
What
No.
are you guys smoking on tonight?
I
Ever-present
Ooh, I guess I should start
question.
smoking
Why don't we
on
let
something.
our
I am
degenerate guest
smoking-
go first?
Oh yeah. If I can stop
Mhm.
interrupting you for a second, I'm smoking on Tangy F3, the
Ooh.
Tangy that's coming out in August.
Ooh.
Well, aren't you special?
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
so.
I
Gotta-
wish I was special.
At least
Yeah,
that's
hey,
what the
man,
school
you know.
used to tell me.
Get on the short bus, you little knuckle-headed ginger, you.
You're one of those kids they had to separate from all the normal kids.
Yeah, for my protection, I'm sure.
Get your own lunch table and shit.
Oh, shit.
So Tangy F3, what, like, I know you tried the Tangy F1.
Yeah, it's
How does it compare?
It's very similar. I will say that I had a much better grow with the F3 than I did with the F1. It was just a better plant, so I think I'm a little biased, but it's that sweet, rotten tropical fruit, like alcohol-y a little bit with some, just tropical funk, and it just it's good medicine.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait.
Well,
She's like a vacation.
Yeah, man, she's wonderful, and she's a really good stress reliever, and so I find her perfect for during the day at work, or putting up with
functional
any
medicine.
bullshit. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Plus, when you're growing her, she is gorgeous to look at. If the F3s have that same beautiful structure, that super identifiable structure that you saw in the F1s.
My F3 was bigger than my F1. And
ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, and
maybe it's because you didn't fuck this one up.
That's also a very true statement. No, and I've grown some other Tangy crosses, and I'm doing one now, but Tangy F3 has the same vigor, and she's going to be pushing out of the tents once again. So
turn the friggin' frogs gay.
What?
Turn the
Alex
friggin'
Jones,
frogs
baby.
gay.
Hell yeah.
I hope that it doesn't have that as a side effect, but hey, whatever happens, happens. Dude, well, a little sneak preview for those out there in podcast land. We will have Y.A.G.S.I.P on the show next week to discuss the upcoming Tangy F3 drop. For anyone out there who was unaware, Y.A.G.S.I.P Genetics is the breeder of the Tangy Tibu Guana, which everyone around here just adores. So
yeah,
special.
I'm rocking
Can't wait.
his shirt because I'm a sellout
Hell yeah.
shill.
Yeah, you're a
That
shill
guy.
for a company you don't own.
You shill for your buddies, man. You know,
I'm a shill
we
for my
shill
buddies,
yeah, I'm a shill for all my buddies too.
Oh yeah, man, he's a great person. He's doing a pop-up in September 21st out here on the West Coast, and so I'm going to be there if you want to, for any reason, want to come meet me. That'd be fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, I saw that in the zine. That's
which
awesome,
G3
man. I wish...
was in, and you, man.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
That's 3 of 5. How terrible for the other 2.
Oh man, that's funny as shit. So, how about you, Johnny? What you got in the pipe tonight?
Dude, I am so glad we finally got to me because salute to one of our long lost compadres, J.Merch.
God rest his
He
soul.
had done a recreation on Star Fox. He had selfed some Star Fox, Night All Star Fox, and this is what I am smoking on tonight. And thank God I am, because dude, I thought I was out of.
What do you mean? What happened to J.Merch?
Yeah, what I was just gonna ask. What happened?
Oh,
to
he's just
He
living his
doesn't,
dream, dude. He lives on an island.
Oh.
Sailed.
I thought he was dead.
Padre likes to tell me that.
I thought you were gonna tell me horrible news, man.
fuck.
Padre likes to tell me he went to a farm to live.
All right.
He literally just got a dream job and he's living on an island. So I paint a picture that he's gone because he's living a much better life than I am right now, and it's pure jealousy.
And he's not making new content anymore. So that's why we say long lost.
Gotcha.
So,
Still
Yep.
in the land of the living. That's awesome. Love you,
Quite
J.Merch. If you hear this at all, hey, we miss you. Come back to us.
No doubt.
So
yeah,
that's the Star Fox crossed with Double Grape?
No, he selfed it. Oh, I don't know. No,
word.
this is his selfed. He had selfed a Night Owl,
Awesome.
Star Fox, and fucking
That's like the S1.
Yep. Star
Cool, man.
Fox
Yeah.
S1 from J.Merch.
He sent me a couple of those, I think, in his cross. He crossed them with Double Grape. He crossed them with a couple other things, too.
Coal miner's daughter.
Yep.
Mm.
So, how is it?
It is stony as shit. Now, I say it's that because normally I like to start with terps because I'm a fucking terps guy, man.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is this particular plant may or may not have been just left in a tote on top of one of my tents here in my grow space.
Like after harvest, you kept it
like,
in a tote.
Yeah,
for like...
meant to trim it, and then
dude.
but then I got high.
You're speaking my language right now. I still have a half of a plant in a tote. It's been there for about 6 weeks, maybe longer.
So, this was I'm so glad I actually found this because I had went and bought a zip from a fucking local dispensary, and it was the worst fucking. It was like every time I fucking tried to smoke a joint through it, it's like, God damn it! So
make that face.
It was
again?
the hardest. It was the hardest week of my entire fucking smoking career. Let's just say that. So when I found this up on top of my tent, it had been dried over at the dry tent. So like there's still some fucking terps there. It's not baked. It's still sticky. It just doesn't smoke the greatest through a joint. But God damn, if I don't get fucking higher than normal,
oh yeah,
smoking a joint off it, it's fucking really stony, which I do like, which is probably why it got put away for a later date, because sometimes it's just a lot.
Just
especially
like my heart starts
norms
racing,
are like hella jelly and tangy, so something racy like that is just fucking, it does. So makes my mouth run too, if you can't tell.
Well, those are all good qualities in a cannabis strain, especially for doing a podcast, if you ask me.
Well, can be. Unless you got shit to say like I normally do, which is why we're so goddamn average. Like, goddamn it, did you hear about that time I burnt the fucking tent down?
What? Really? No. Did you burn a tent down?
Well, not completely, but yeah, pretty much.
Apple.
All right, tell me, Apple.
Okay. You know what that's fire, from? Water. He's just like king of the catastrophes in his gross face.
I have probably most people's, if you're a newer grower, most people's fucking like dream setup as far as tent growing goes. I got 2 4x4s right next to each other, 2 2x4s right next to them, but on like a 45-degree kind of vibe. It's in a 1-car garage. And right next to that, and this is why I say it's everyone's dream, is my garden hose.
Nice.
So this is how I fucking water. I walk over to my fucking 70-gallon beds and I just fucking spray the garden hose in there. Sometimes I smoke weed when I'm doing
Get out of here, really?
And just loosely aim the shower function on garden hose around the fucking tent. And I forgot that I had been running these cheesy fucking extension cords to run some of the hurricane tents. Or the hurricane fans around this. And this was my brand new Gorilla Grow tent 4x4. I got the Gorilla 4x4 Lite because I had an incident where my ex sliced all my tents with a
that was
knife.
Nice of her.
So I have to duct tape some of them up.
Oh my God.
I had to duct tape some of them up. And I finally decided I wanted to try the Gorilla Light version versus the AC Infinity. Their prices were comparable.
What makes it light?
It's
a lighter material. Like the canvas is lighter on the outside. I think the reflective, the size on the 4x4 is exactly the same size as the AC Infinity 4x4. Now the 2x4 has an extra like 4 inches.
Who doesn't want an extra 4 inches?
Gorilla light line. So that's exactly. So that was nice. But then I decided to fucking burn it down with the garden hose and the extension cords plugged in for those cheesy little hurricane fans. They caught a fucking little bit too much moisture because they were below where I was watering. Thank God, though. I happen to be now. I have right next to these grow tents is my Barca Lounger recliner, which I sit and watch fucking Sopranos on.
Sopranos, superior TV show, man.
So thank God we happened to be in here fucking smoking, and we just heard this
What the fuck you
fucking
gonna do?
spark. We heard this nasty fucking spark. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And my first thought was, oh shit, it's got to be that fucking light thing that I wired up. Remember, Monster, you had helped me wire
I didn't
this
help you
fucking
wire
thing
anything.
up.
What the
We were-
fuck are you
See,
talking
it's
about?
Monster's fault. It's fucking Monster's
No, we had
fault.
fucking
You're
been
coming
talking about
on
it.
our
I
show
have zero
to point
responsibility for that.
fingers at our host.
That's why we're
Coming
here.
on here.
Yag invaded.
Is that why
just
you
to
came
say-
All we
on?
did was smoke joints and eat barbecue at your house. We didn't wire anything.
In his mind, that's why.
No. So no, he had recommended getting one of these because I was worried that the fucking timers I was using was still letting fucking light through, and I was getting
Yeah.
worms that way.
Oh.
So I got one of those fucking big
contactors.
switches. Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the big contactors. Yep. So you had just recommended what one to fucking get when we were
Yeah.
talking about it. So my first thought was I wired that motherfucker up. And I was like, no, I fucking know I'm not that stupid. But that's my first thought was I fucked that up because I'm fucking, I mean, look at what the reality was. So I obviously am that stupid because I was just watering lollygag with a fucking garden hose with electrical connections all over. So I obviously am that stupid that I could have fucked up the wiring. But no, it was one of those little electricals, and it fucking had just laid down enough spark to the back corner of this brand new fucking ish tent, melted the pan, melted the bottom of the tent. So now every time I overwater a little bit in my big bed, it fucking runs out the bottom and all on the fucking garage floor and onto the next 2x4. And it's
So the arc created the fire.
yeah, the arc did.
Wasn't
yeah.
Monster. Gotcha.
The arc.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
let's
it was
not
the
let-
arc
I
inside
did-
the fucking van. Had nothing to do with
Let's
the
not let
lights
him
at
off the
all.
hook. So
I did leave his house fucking floating. I mean, we were super stoned. and so I'm like, I don't remember wiring anything. Like,
No, and then he left me too on my back fucking swing. He's like, all right, I gotta fucking go, guy. I gotta fucking try the buffalo. I'm like, all right. So
Absolutely.
his entire remainder fucking 2-hour drive from my house to fucking Buffalo, I don't think I moved from that.
oh, it's because I gave you your first dab.
That was
You were
fucking-
fucked. Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Yeah, that was the first time I had ever did.
That's right.
So all I'm taking away from this is that you're pointing the finger at Monster from a fire
Rightly.
that happened in your
No.
in your grow space.
No. I was fucking around. No, that was my first thought.
I'm just
My first
playing.
thought was that I fucked that thing up, and that's where the art came from. I was like, no fucking way, man. No, what did I do? Was it a loose connection or something? No way, man.
So
Yeah,
what
it was much
like
more simpler.
what can we take away from it, man? What did you learn? Like
I
what can
deny-
we
So
share
from
with
now
people?
on, all my connections are on the outside of my fucking tents. Any electrical like extension cord that I need has to be on the outside.
That's
There's no
big-
more
ding,
fucking
ding, ding.
internal.
I
Yep,
love that.
right there.
You
Yep.
can just
That's the only fucking change I made.
I see it all the time on IG, on Reddit, in Discord sometimes. I mean, people, I don't know where they get the idea that they want to put like extension cords and like power strips
On the floor.
in
No,
their
there
tent.
should not be an outlet on the
I see
inside
people
of
do it all
your
the time
tent.
on the
No.
floor. I'm like, what the fuck?
Don't do it.
What are you guys thinking? Like, you know how, I'm just, yeah, I would not want any of that shit anywhere near.
Now, I had been rushed and I had thrown one inside of a tent. at
We've all
one
been rushed
point
and thrown
just
one
because I was
inside
rushed.
before. I mean,
Exactly.
I think that's
Exactly.
how Johnny
That's
got
how.
most of his
That's
kids.
how. That's how your mother and I created you, son. And I'm glad we finally had me on the show that I could introduce the world to
we
my
could share that
my
story.
son, the big green apple.
Daddy.
So it was only 25 minutes in. Do you regret it yet? Inviting Yag on?
Not at all.
We knew it was gonna
this
be a
is the most
fucking.
entertained I've been all week.
Not
I
at
will
all.
say, before Howling and Stony Alpinists write us letters of anger, we miss you and sorry you couldn't be here. You'll get the
we
next
Yeah,
one.
We will.
It's just too many people. We get it.
We'll get
Yes,
them
they're
on in
coming.
a separate incident. It's
7 people on
That's
one
when you want
show
real
is a shit show.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
We've
if just for
tried.
clarity, Y.A.G is very much Padre and I. So you're having Y.A.G on, so it's Y.A.G. And they are members of Y.A.G the Circle. So they're like Y.A.G curious. Especially the wolf.
Fuck.
We love them
Howlin'
dearly and we
Wolf,
miss
man.
them.
Yeah, I love those guys.
I tried to be nice to
keep
my
it
fellow
real.
co-host, but Johnny just had to dunk on him. Just remember that, guys. No, we miss them dearly.
You
They
see
are
how it
Y.A.G.
is.
All
right, well,
what are you guys smoking
All right,
on though? You asked us.
to round out our opening segment, a cool 26 minutes into the show. That's what happens when you have 5 people. Let's all 3 run through what we're smoking on real quick. I'll go first. I have some Blue Sprayed Shoes remix from Night Owl. It's very bright. I would like use that. Very bright smelling. Very sharp. Like if this were a cheese, it would be the sharp cheddar, the sharp provolone. Yeah, it has like definitely a blueberry note, more of that like the skin and that kind of like a little bit of earthy kind of funk, but for sure blueberry. I love it for daytime use and for just kind of not getting me too stoned. No, I don't know. Like that's not a great like. That's not like a compliment to weed in most cases. Like it didn't get me too stoned, but
No,
for
it
real though,
definitely is.
it is. Like it's a different kind of stoned. Like I am as stoned as I would be from smoking on something else. It's just a different type of stoned, if you know what I mean. You know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's functional and non-functional stone, and there are varieties of each.
I heard it.
Believe it.
I heard it described recently in a nice metaphor, whereas the THC in your cannabis is like the gunpowder in a firework. That's what'll get you up there, you know. Like that's what sends it up into the stratosphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
The terpenes and the cannabinoids, like the lesser cannabinoids and stuff, are like the colors and the pattern of the firework. It's what like makes the whole thing different from any other firework. You know what I mean? It's
interesting. I've heard the analogy. It's like a car where the THC is like the gas pedal and the terpenes and lesser cannabinoids are like the steering wheel. I really like that one too.
I think they both work, you know. Like
I definitely think they do, and it's very interesting. Like I wouldn't even consider if I were, but I really like that analogy.
I guess someone was just, I forget who it was, man. I want to give a shout out to, why do I want to say Chad Westport was the guy who came up with that one. If you don't know who he is, you know, check him out. He's very, very knowledgeable cannabis guy.
Yeah, but lots of strains that are less blatantly psychoactive are a truly valid part of, you know, medicating your life. You don't want to be knocked out of your brain all the time.
For sure, you know?
Not only that, but you'll kill your tolerance with that high THC. You do not want to go high octane all the time. Spread it around. Give your cannabinoid system a treat. Try some lesser cannabinoids. Give it some CBD. Try some CBN.
Oh, yeah.
How about a little CBG? Like, there's a smorgasbord available to you. Don't just go straight THC. There's so much more than that.
Oh, amen, G3. Amen. Well, what are you smoking on tonight, G3? What you got?
I've got this mango aisle.
I should have known something mango. Where did Rev go? Where the hell is...
He's there.
What happened?
I just dropped some
He's playing peekaboo.
We use the same program, so don't be surprised if you find us fucking around a little bit.
Gotcha. No worries.
We're quite familiar with what's going on here.
All right.
I was trying to be good. I'm sorry.
You're being bad. You lack discipline.
Is that the truth?
D3, did you ever find that jar of mango
I thought you were talking about
no,
the piss
it's still
jar.
missing somewhere.
Are you kidding me? I told you. I fucking told you Cap took it. I told you Cap took it.
Piss
How
jar.
is it at your house? Did you take my jar of mango smile?
No,
My
I
last
definitely
jar.
didn't. I definitely
somewhere
didn't.
in this
I wish I
house.
did, to be honest, because I could use another daytime strain.
She's the best.
That's like I'm using the one that I have right now. This like everything else I have right now is very much a nighttime kind of smoke. But
That sounds
you know,
terrible. You gotta grow more narrow leaf, my friend. Let me
I do.
convert you to the pure narrow leaf lifestyle.
I have one that I've been digging too. On a side note, Cosmic Revival
Ooh.
G3 reminded me it's a CBD THC cross, and that's
I love them.
awesome for daytime too.
Oh,
Like,
hell yeah.
keeps you nice and even keeled.
Same with
So
that.
last but not
Last
least,
but
Yeah.
not
I'm
least.
smoking on something special
Monster.
What
tonight.
are you smoking on,
Something
child?
special. So I went and visited
Yeah, what
our
you got?
buddy, Big Green Guy, yesterday. I live like 5 minutes from the kid, and I've been down this area for about a year, and I've seen him like 3 times. It's pathetic. So I went over and hung out with him yesterday. Got really baked. He had given me, I don't know, a good size amount of a new cross of his called George's Root Beer. And it is fucking phenomenal. He did a bang up job with this. I don't know if the camera's going to do it any justice, but it's
Shit, that looks
Ooh,
some
I like
really
the
good
bud
smoke.
structure.
Oh, I love the bud
nice
structure.
tight fat buds. It's got a real like root beery kind of smell and taste, and I get it's unique. I've never smoked anything. I can't put my finger on it. I'm getting some little bit of like chem vibe too. Now I wish I could tell you the lineage. I totally forget. I was ripped when he was telling me. So there's some Irie genetics in there somewhere. I don't know. I think he said he was going to be watching tonight. Maybe he'll chime in and let us know the lineage. But dude, it's really good.
George's root beer.
He's been talking it up for sure.
Nice. Not Mug, not A&W, not Heinz.
Heinz makes root beer.
Fine.
Barks.
Barks.
I don't know. There's also, I love root beer, man. It's like a totally underrated beverage.
I don't like the
I
shit
agree.
you buy in the convenience stores though, or the grocery stores. Like, I like that like heady root beer. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like
Really
made
good
with like
shit.
real sugar. None of that fucking fructose corn syrup bullshit.
You ever had a good sour
I have.
Spirilla?
Sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's like I think that's like they like made it illegal for some
Really?
reason. It was like it's some sort of root that like they don't want people drinking anymore in real sarsaparilla. I don't know
Okay.
why.
I wonder if
So,
it's
thinking
slightly
that.
Big Green Guy
alcohol-
chimed in. It's GMO
alcoholic.
root beer crossed with George. And I remember him saying there was some Arise in there somewhere. Maybe that's part of the George cross. But I'm a fan, man, and it tastes good, smokes good, fucking nice fat buds. What else can you ask for?
Not much, dude.
Just a shame he's
not
such
much
a
at all.
monster.
And BGG was nice enough to design and have these printed.
Oh my
shit.
God! Look at
They're
that.
so cute.
That's a tent
That's
with a
dope.
pirate flag. It says Tent Pirates. That's amazing.
Can we just acknowledge for 1 second the dude's a monster?
He is a terrible human being. He breeds great plants.
And human beings. His kids are like fucking
Dude,
giants.
giants, dude.
his
He's
kids.
a Viking.
All right,
Yeah. I've only met 2 of his
Yeah.
kids, and they're pretty tall. Yeah.
Wow, he's a real live Viking. That's
Yeah, it's a shame.
we love you, BGG. Thank you
We
for hooking it
certainly
up with the
do.
stickers and
Everything else.
thank you for
man.
hanging out with Monster and he needs the the supervision from time to time.
Make him feel like he has friends.
The rent
Yeah.
a friend service. That's isn't that really what a podcast is though?
The only reason
When you
we
think
do it
about
is
it.
so we can talk to cool people and be like, "Hey, man, you want to hang out for a couple minutes?"
We hope somebody else can spit some knowledge our way and somebody else can hear it and benefit from it as well. It's basically what the fucking point of our show is.
It's that plus it's a rent-a-friend service
Hell
for all
yeah.
the people out there just who want to chill and smoke and talk to people about smoking. You know, when I listen to podcasts on my own, I sometimes find myself like answering the questions, you know, like
Getting into
like
it.
engaging in the conversation as if I was there. I imagine there are people out there who do the same thing with us.
I have
so.
one important question though. When you're doing that, do they talk back? Because if so,
There's only at times. And they told me to kill. I told them.
I thought that was the dog.
But yeah, no, that's.
So there's this question in the chat. My ADD is dying to fucking talk to
let's
about
bring
it.
it up.
It says, "Hey, I grow autos because of space, but I decided to grow a photo. I kept putting off 12 on, 12 on, 12 off.
Oh,
now
goodness.
it's way up in my light. Should I like top it or tie it over, scrog it, or just grow autos?"
Guess what you do?
Don't scrap it.
Nope.
I mean, I
bend
need
that
some
bitch
more
over.
information. I need to know, like,
So
Bend it
have
over.
you flipped? Where is it in flower?
All right.
Like,
If it's a,
Oh,
if it's a,
yeah.
he
oh,
hasn't.
you
don't-
overgrew your home.
He hasn't flipped
How
it yet.
healthy is
If
it?
He
it's in
says he's
flower,
putting it
visually
off.
matters.
Yeah. How healthy is it? That would determine.
Yeah,
what
if
you
it's
do.
healthy,
If it's still in
he
veg,
said, I
and it's healthy.
kept putting it off.
Well,
Are we gonna finally let
What-
my
I
feel
English
like he's
degree
flipped.
shine?
So how
Listen.
far into flower are we? Because my fucking tangies are up through my light, but they're fucking 6-7 weeks into flower now.
just
though.
bend that bitch over. They
Yeah.
like it.
Bend that bitch
Yep.
over.
It still
Yeah,
isn't in
if
flower.
you're
he
already
said.
in flower, just keep fucking.
Oh, if
bending.
you're-
So I'm gonna
Oh,
throw in.
It's not hit
I
stretch.
think he should clone
whack
it
it back.
and start from a clone because he's telling me
Mm-hmm.
that it's already up in his light
That's crazy.
in
And
the
it's still in
veg
veg.
cycle.
It hasn't flipped
and it
yet.
hasn't flipped yet. Like so,
You'd have to
unless
chop it all the way back.
unless you have your light way down, like on the plant, and you have the ability to raise it quite a bit, then yeah, man, you don't have any fucking room to super crop. You got no room at all. Once
Yeah,
these
there's
hit the
nothing to do
stretch, I mean,
building.
a typical stretch for a photo period, it depends on the strain. I've seen anything from like a 0.5 to like 4x expected stretch from breeders'
what if he's
descriptions.
What if are you in like an auto pot that you're running hydroponics? Are you in a large volume of soil? Can
You
you
can't
whack
raise
this
it.
bitch right back? Can you fucking cut
Yeah,
her down?
If you haven't flipped yet, you can chop that bitch in half.
All
yeah,
the way down.
And
cut her fucking
give it like
right
a week
back.
and a half to 2 weeks to recover because it's not going to grow much
Mhm.
after you do that, and then flip it.
Yeah.
I think we
So you
should
could
leave.
just,
As long
like-
as you've got volume of soil or whatever your medium is, as long
That's
as
so
you've got a
much
means
trimming.
to keep feeding.
How much of that plant would you just lop off, like on the
a
main stem? Are you talking like you would just
Dude,
basically do like a really
yeah.
late topping and leave like the bottom third
Yeah,
of the
but
plant?
generally speaking, a lot of people don't.
look for main branches.
I would just try
exactly.
to bend that thing over. Like you could take that branch
Yeah, that's what I would
right where you
suggest,
want it, pinch the shit out of it, even if you need a pair of pliers. And I'm serious. You squeeze the fucking thing, and as soon as it gets brittle, you just bend it right over. That's your.
But that's only if you super crop, then you actually have
Yeah,
space
now are we-
to let her
exactly,
grow
is it
after that. She's
one-
still gonna have to stretch.
Are we
That's-
talking like one plant untrained at this point into the light? Like you got a whole fucking stem you can just.
Oh my gosh, I
break
so
right
badly want to
over.
see a picture of her too.
Yeah.
Can we also give
that-
bad
is it-
advice and say
Is it something
just
that's
flip
been
her to
trained
flower?
that now the whole 10 is already scribed
Yeah, you know,
out?
just flip it, see what happens.
Just flip
Yeah.
it. Let's just give bad advice. Just flip it to flower, and in a couple of weeks,
Fuck
take
around
some
and
pictures.
find out.
Just oh, I love it.
Just remember, it was Johnny
That's
Apple.
P3's
that
motto,
gave
man,
you
isn't
advice.
Can't you
Well,
just
good
like
advice if you have shit for
take?
brains.
You could take just like a super large clone, right? Just take the top like 4 nodes and let it
Yeah,
root.
they're harder to root.
Would the roots
stem
eventually be
shit out of
strong
Root,
enough?
something that big
Now-
and woody.
What you could do though
Yeah.
is take the side branches from there up, and you probably get 2 or 3
Yeah.
out of it. Then
Yeah, if you really
Yeah.
want to keep this thing around,
you want a nice
I-
tender
I-
area for any older material.
Yeah, it's
is,
not gonna do.
tougher
No
to
roots
fucking,
don't
like
come from
old
there.
mature. Yeah, you want fresh green, and not
I love it.
Sometimes those they're hollow in the center too. The fucking stems are
Mhm.
super
Flip
hollow.
it to flower,
Yeah.
let
Let
chaos
chaos.
ensue.
That's right, Judith.
I mean,
La-
really,
YAG
you're gonna have to
logic.
go in with a machete to
That's right. Just
handle
remember, Johnny Apple.
that
He
much
wants you to
vegetation.
flip it now. Sorry, Jake.
I don't know, man. Like I still listen. If it's up in your light and you're out of room, you got to clone it and raise the clone and then flip that.
probably your
bitch.
best option.
No. We did hear him say in the chat, like, thought him say he can't raise it. Oh, he can't raise the light. All right, so yeah, dude, like you
wasn't
can't, if
talking
you
about the
can't raise
plant.
your light, then you're kind of fucked. Like you're kind of out of options. The plant is dictating your next
Plant
move.
is the
and
boss.
I would fucking.
You
take
could try and do a
good
G3
snip or 3.
with her first photo and just grow higher and higher out of 10s.
Yep. You just
Oh.
kind of like MacGyver yourself 10 out of whatever you
See,
can
but I
figure
think you
out.
might get a better if you've got enough soil. He said he's growing organic, but if he's got enough soil, you might find a better recovery time by fucking whacking it back than you would getting a clone to root and then getting that the size
All
to
right,
flip.
I think we've given this
You're
fucker all
probably
the
right.
advice we can give him.
Yeah. You're right, dude.
And I mean
Listen,
fucker in
that's
the
the
nicest way.
goddamn
If
free
you don't know me,
advice
Doug,
you'll
I
ever
mean
get.
fucker
No.
in the nicest possible way.
We love you, Doug.
Good luck, brother.
Thanks for chiming in. That was a good question.
was a
to
good
ask,
question.
You know, it's
Please share a picture on
Actually,
our Discord.
yeah,
I
Pop
would love
into our
to see
Discord
your
and send us a
plants.
picture. Let's
I'd love.
we
to
can see what
her.
we're
Yeah,
see what
for
we're
sure.
working
yeah, dude.
with.
Come on.
Show
in.
me what you're working with.
Oh, it's funny, dude. So like, yeah, common issue, dude. I do it all the time. Just over veg, you know. I'd
Yeah,
take
we
some
know you do
clones.
it all the time.
I know.
I do want to know because
know.
I've usually when you over veg, it's like you're like cutting it close, like our buddy Howling, where he got real close and he overgrew. But I want to know at what point you're like, man, it's touching the light. I might have overgrown because that's a situation that I would do. I just walk in after a few weeks and be like, ah, shit.
Dude, so my last photo run, like it was day 10 of flower, day 11, and they're already like 3/4 of the way up the tent, like it's almost up to my neck. You know, I'm
Yeah.
6'2",
Yeah.
and they're up to here, and the light's up as far as it can go. I'm just like, you know, like the tops are still very bendy and like flexible. That's kind of how you know they're still stretching. Once they get solid and like that you can't bend that top anymore, you kind of start to see those calyxes swell and like the resin start to produce. That means you're in bud set. The stretch is over. So like I don't know. I know when you're at day 10 and you're like already pushing the limits. Man, if you haven't even flipped yet and you're pushing the limits, so yeah, just don't overgrow your tent, man. You don't want to do that. It's stressful. It causes all sorts of issues with nutrients, like deficiencies.
You're using your grow fan wrong, you fucking idiot.
A wise man once said. So, before the show, we were kind of talking a little bit about you guys' grow styles. What can you tell me about how you grow?
Well, I do know at one point it was Earth Boxes versus Autopots between our podcasts, but
Yeah,
I'll let my
you
dear
you
friend
grew
Johnny.
midget plants, and we grew big ones.
So why don't we just roll with that, man? It sounds like that's what we're like. Autopots versus Earthbox. They're both SIP systems, right?
Yes, I
Except one of them sips
advocate,
like a
and
little
we always-
bitch.
One of them slightly more bulimic and anorexic versus.
I think the other one, yeah,
being
the other one
force-fed.
We
pukes.
take these autopots take big
Well,
old manly
there are a couple
gulps.
reasons why
dude,
they-
you ever see that dude who won the chugging contest? You know who I'm
No.
talking about?
No.
He drank a
Where did you
gallon
watch
of
it
lemonade
chugging?
in
Oh,
like
Jesus.
15
What the
seconds.
fuck?
It was like the most inhuman
Why?
thing I've
Yeah,
ever
why?
seen.
Any beverage
Oh my
I can
God.
think of is better
I have
than
to.
lemonade.
I
Really?
have to find.
I
Hold
I
on
gotta
one
know
second.
why.
Okay, let me drink some tart shit real
This
quick.
is
Like,
incredible.
Jesus.
No, like you know how they do a hot dog eating contest?
Yeah.
They did a
Yeah.
lemonade drinking contest.
No. I love lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why
these people
ruin
just
it?
like open their
Wow.
throats and pour it straight into
Oh,
their
this
stomach.
dude's an absolute professional at this shit. All
Yeah,
right,
they
hold on. You ready?
train. It's amazing.
You ready to have your minds blown?
Always.
I'm always ready to be blown.
Oh, hold on. First, YouTube has to play a fucking ad, of course.
Dude, I remember when ad free was $10 a month, and now it's like $20 a month or something. I looked into it because I was sick of the ads because
Dude.
they're getting ridiculous.
It is insane.
20
I
clams
just
a
looked
month.
at my.
Because they give you their music.
I don't want their
stuff,
music. I have
too.
Spotify. It fucking blows it out of the water.
I know, but they don't give you a choice to only
I
have
know.
one or the other, which is dumb.
All right, here you go. Here you go. Just for you guys.
Oh,
What?
Oh
All
no, this is just the
Stop!
puking part
Holy
afterwards.
shit!
Fuck.
Holy shit! That's exactly
I
what
don't wanna
tangy
see
smells
that.
like.
I
No,
don't
but
wanna
he was
see that at
speaking
all.
out.
Shut your
Here
goddamn
he
mouth.
is. Here he is. Here he is.
No.
Jesus,
At
cat.
21 seconds
In the zone. He's
in the zone. They call him Badlands.
How many? Does
Oh my
that say
God.
21
Oh,
seconds?
Absolutely.
A gallon of lemonade.
You know that there's a
Why?
lot of people predicted we were gonna come and yag the shit up and fuck your show up and
Dude, this show's all.
Cap
this
doesn't
is,
need
We don't
any
need any help.
help.
already a
We don't
mess.
need any fucking
No
help.
matter what YAG does, you showed puking videos. We win.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
Ain't that the goddamn truth?
Yeah, that's some funny
Man.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
I
disgusting, and
apologize for
I'm disappointed that someone would participate in that. I wonder
How
why.
did we end up talking about that? Like, what? Why did we
Who
get
the fuck
we
knows?
just-
on the lemonade? Yeah, no, it's. They say short-term memory loss is a side
the last
effect.
I remember talking about was the difference in growth
Auto-
styles. Was the
Oh, yeah, the
autopots
growth
versus
styles.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
talking about
You were in-
sipping like little bitches and
Yeah.
then
I
big
was
old
sipping
man.
like little
All right,
bitches.
I was
now
trying
now
to
it makes
defend
sense.
YAG's honor, but I will note before we'll get into the differences and how we're not, the
Let's
main
talk
difference
about
is
sipping.
I advocated for the cheapest option. That's why I went with Earth boxes at the time.
I feel that.
That's just the real reality is Johnny turned me on to the idea of them, and I fucking embraced it. And then Johnny, led the way. Then he got an autopot, so he got the tray to grow. So he left me. But
Now let's
For
Let's be
those
clear.
5-year-olds out there, real quick, what is a S.I.P system? What are we talking
it
about?
is a sub-irrigated planter. So anything that waters from the bottom with, like a reservoir or anything like that.
Cool.
So autopots is a SIP system.
Yes.
The
absolutely.
sub-irrigated.
Mhm.
Yep.
So is an Earth box.
sub-irrigated planter. So we
Anything
can be
that's
fair
butt chugging.
and
Automated
say that
butt chuggers.
anything that is fucking butt chugging is
Yep.
going to provide better results, period. It lets the plants figure it out for the fucking selves.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Mhm.
period.
Even if you
That
like
is
make, you
stand
can.
up. Now-
I've seen them done out of like just a 5-gallon bucket, and people
Yeah.
put like a layer of
Those
perlite at
things
the bottom.
even work better than trying to fucking hand water a 5-gallon pot
Yep.
yourself. Even those things work fucking relatively good. As long as you're making sure to clean those like tubey things, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Too Tall in our
They get
Discord
jummed
uses
up
them.
and, or
Thanks.
gummed up.
Badger just
Yeah.
reminded me. Make sure you guys use code CC10 for your autopots.
Aha, there
Hell
you go.
yeah. Hell yeah. We don't have an Earth box code, do you guys?
No.
No,
we
we
don't
are
have any
not
codes.
sponsored by. We fuck
No.
Oh,
around
yes,
and
you're
we
anti-sponsor.
You're very
the
anti.
big exactly. We are.
That's
Our
right.
biggest
The
joke
opening
is
of
that
your
we are
show kind of
sponsored
gives that
by.
away, right? I love it.
No, it's a
Like,
surprise. We're like, why aren't
are
people
you
reaching
sick
out
of
to
hearing
us?
about products you don't fucking want and don't fucking need?
That was Johnny off the cuff.
Can't afford.
One of
I
That
love
was
it.
literally
Dude.
I was at work in the fucking steel mill when I made that fucking recording on my
Listen,
iPhone.
Yeah.
That was
Because every
literally
time I hear it, I say to myself, God damn it, I am. I'm right there with you, Johnny.
yeah.
So,
Well,
anywho, we're selling our own Earth. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
We have the Y.A.G,
We have
the
a
Y.A.G.S.I.P
bucket.
system.
No,
Y.A.G.S.I.P.
no,
Y.A.G.S.I.P.
we very much enjoy like do it yourself too, and watching a lot of people in all of the discords we share, especially making their own shit. And so I kind of copied that and made my own sip out of a tote. I'm on my first run and it's working. So I think that just
Yeah?
proves that any sip will work, because even the piece of shit one that I made, it's working, and I've done zero. So
Any sip is a good
any
sip.
sip is a good sip. So if you
But
can get a
how?
sip,
So
you're better off.
there has to be a couple like. All right, first, like, can you tell me about the sip you made? Like, how did you do this? Out of a
Yeah,
tote?
so I got one of those 7-gallon totes at Home Depot, I think, or as us fancy people call them, Home Depot.
Home Depot.
Home Depot. But no, it's a 7-gallon, so it's basically of the same size of a 5-gallon, just longer. And you just take the lid and cut it out and kind of shove it under in there, and then drill some holes in it so that it has like you can get air and your roots can grow through into the reservoir, and you just
Is that your cat again?
put soil
Yeah,
on top
don't
and
mind
that's
her.
it. And then you make sure you have a PVC tube that runs to the top, and I'm just using cardboard as my mulch cover for right now,
Wow.
because it's just
So
the
there's
first run.
always that's like I think the kind of the bottom, one of the first like fundamentals of sips is like you got to have some sort of layer at the bottom
Yes.
of the pot to at least like aid in the wicking process.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
like give some area for there to be like not like a super dense soil. You know what I mean? You could get like anaerobic conditions down there
Yeah.
sometimes.
So
there's a trick to these earth boxes, and it's you can't just let them sit in stagnant water because we run them organically.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason I started. I wanted to grow with the earth boxes because I started growing organic and I grow
Hell yeah.
no-till, and I use my earth boxes no-till. So
Nice.
there was a comment earlier, and it was something like Auto Potts' no brain method. It does. It's like, really, I have an earth box that I have fucking used the same soil 4 different fucking grows now and top dressed 2 different times and grown bangers out of with photo periods. And for very little money, very little thinking, literally just water down the fucking tube. My entire tangy grow I just did in this earth box, water only. No fucking teas, no microbes, no fucking nothing. Just an
Cool.
earth box that I did not top dress because they're not asking for it. What's nice is there's a caveat. They have these nice plastic covers you put over top of them, and they develop feeder roots up at the top.
Yeah.
And when you see these feeder roots, that's telling you, I'm fucking hungry. Give me a top dressing. You can't see those if you don't have like a really heavy mulch layer, or you have to like dig through your mulch layer if you have like a heavy, reused, re-amended fucking
you've
soil.
top
Like,
dressed a lot.
exactly. So
That's cool.
this tangy plant, it's one plant and a 2x4, and she filled the whole thing all the way up to the light, like we were talking
everybody
about.
that grows
And it
those
was
things
water
have been
only.
huge.
And it,
A big fucking
Yeah,
plant.
and
yeah.
realistically,
What I'm saying is it was literally just water only with reused earth box that's been through like 4 different runs and then maybe had 2 fucking top dressings in it. Just that you have to because if you don't, and this is what I was trying to get to, the water would obviously, if it's sitting in water for how many grows you grow a year, right? This thing's probably a year old, this one earth box, without being changed, dumped out, without nothing. So if you had left water in it at the bottom touching the soil the entire time, that shit would get moldy and stagnant and gross. So what you have to do is you have to let these things go empty.
Completely dry.
It's just like how an autopot works.
Word.
Now,
Yeah, it's so you're just
but you're
yeah,
hand doing it
your
exactly.
hand-
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the hand,
Hand doing
you
it.
are the
Yep.
aqua valve in
Yeah.
Now
this
with
case.
the
Exactly.
autopots, you've got a much bigger reservoir
100%.
because this thing has 2 gallons, and when this bitch was in flower, you're fucking watering
yeah.
it
Every
other fucking day.
Oh, that's at
Yeah.
least
Every
like
2
I mean,
gallons.
that's at least every other day, man.
Yeah,
like,
it
I mean,
buys
I
you
don't know,
time,
if you're
and it also makes
growing
you
in-
realize if you're hand watering how underwater you do. Because
Underwatering
if you're
you are.
going through
Yeah,
2 gallons every other day, you're like, shit, I did not hand water enough water. But I will say, like, there's one of the big reasons that I didn't get autopots wasn't just price at the beginning. It was I had to be able to break down my tent as quickly as possible and move things
Yeah.
because of the setup I had at the time. So I couldn't have any big reservoirs of water sitting and being like, fuck, what do I do with 10 gallons of water real quick, right? So that's really one of those two were the main reasons. And so, like, you look at the autopots and it really is SIPs on steroids. Like, there's no denying that you can get fucking phenomenal plants with very little effort. I just like to be able to break shit up and throw it and disappear real quick. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely see the appeal in
Yeah.
in
Yeah, they
the
both have their
Earthbox thing, too.
advantages.
It's what's cool
Different
about them too. Like
strokes.
Johnny said, I think it's a little easier to do the no-till method because how many gallons do they hold? 15?
up
10?
to like 10, right?
It starts about 7 exactly, and I
Okay.
think you could probably get it to mound up. You could
Mound up.
probably have a huge mound
Yeah.
and maybe get like 12 gallons if your top 2 was worm castings.
Mm,
But you're
Yeah.
probably really pushing it at that point.
okay.
So about 10 gallons is really maxing it with a really good mound of top dressing.
Every time that I've had to refill one, I just use 1 cubic foot of I've used Build a Soil Light when I first got into it. So just 1 bag in, and then I end up top dressing worm castings I make and shit like that. So it ends up being pretty mounded up for a while. And I really think half the reason that Johnny and I like talking about earth boxes is because it gives us an excuse to say mound just super frequently
I get it.
and sound like we know what we're talking about.
I disagree. That's not. I don't know.
Who doesn't
I
like
prefer
saying mound?
moist.
Yeah, moist mound. Keep the moist mound for the worms.
No, but when I say I've done only 2 top dressings,
Just
those are
beautiful
huge.
alliteration.
Those are literally huge top dressings. So I'm talking like probably 2 cups of fucking craft blend and I don't know, 2 gallons maybe of worm castings or a gallon of fucking compost, whichever one it is.
Are you
I'm
running any
using.
cover crop?
So I don't typically. I have before, and I think one of them has had cover crop in the earth box. But I find that craft blend and a worm casting is so much simpler than trying to manage a cover crop in the 7-gallon rectangular top. It's just
Yeah.
the time isn't there.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
usually wanting to
so-
get it right back into fucking another plant
I-
into it so I can get it back into.
I never
I've been
run
doing-
cover crop because then you have to run the lights, right? So I take because I live in Southern California, so any second that I'm not running electricity saves me a fortune. So I am like a
Now-
energy vampire. So if I see shit, I fucking like cut that shit out, right? So 2 weeks off of lights, okay, when I'm drying is just equalizing the amount of money I have to pay to portable AC dry.
Exactly. Now I do run cover crop in my big beds. I have 2 rectangular 3x3 beds in both of the 4x4s. So there's 70 gallons of that to start with.
Geez.
So I do run cover crop in those because it's a huge bed. So
Yeah.
typically I have enough time, and it's so beneficial in that space because I just chop it down. There's a huge green foliar in there, a little craft blend on top of that, and then my own worm castings on top of that. And it's just fucking, man, it resolves so many issues most of the time.
A bed is the real, true method of, if you want to do no-till, like that's probably what I would advise you look into is a bed. You don't have to water that much because it's so much soil, but like for a couple, like for certain situations, it's not ideal.
No,
like
but
I don't,
It would be super funny to see someone try and break down fucking 70 pounds of soil and 70 gallons of soil and
it's
shit.
That's
exactly-
70 gallons.
So my
and how
dad's
many
got the
pounds
same-
is that? That's the question.
fucking
It's got to be
hundreds.
like
If you
500
fucking
pounds
heavy.
of soil when
It's
it's saturated.
heavy. I think it's like 110.
Johnny,
Hey,
try
homie,
to
grab this
deadlift.
corner.
So,
Can
no.
you deadlift your
So
fucking
that's exactly
bed?
right. So my dad's got a 2x4, and we put a 2x4 bed in his 2x4, and it's full of fucking soil.
Holy
It's
shit.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
because
so
the
it's
Earth box does the same fucking thing. It's almost too much in that much
Yeah,
space.
I-
But it
I
was like,
hear
oh,
that.
he wanted like, I just want a water only, and we really hadn't discovered fucking an affordable sub irrigated method at that
Yeah,
time.
but once if like to do the true no-till like real method, like a bed is an ideal setup for it. You can like I've been doing it in my Autopot XXLs, man, the Magnums, those 9-gallon pots, and I just ripped out that root like a week after harvest. You know, just cut around like a little bit of those strong roots at the base. Just cut it out
Yep.
with a pocket knife, rip that sucker out, and planted my 1-gallon. Like I'd started seeds in the 1-gallon and transplanted them right in there. And I've been top dressing, like you said, the feeder roots, everything, man. It's actually like a beautiful system. It's been working great. So I think you can get away with
You're
kind of like a faux no-till.
Well, and I saw your post. You
Faux-till?
got those feeder groups.
Yeah,
They're so,
faux-till.
they're so cool to
It's
see.
exactly right. It's
Yeah.
exactly right.
But you're really just
Yeah,
mimicking
so you
nature.
had those-
So you're doing literally it was designed to do through nature, right? Is to
Right,
get
I am.
nutrients from
So
the
I don't
pot.
have worms, but I do.
You buy the
You know,
castings, don't you?
I do have castings, and I got like I got to re-up on my my Build a Flower from Build a Soil.
No, you need to get yourself a worm
Stinky
bed.
stuff.
Get
Start
yourself
your
a
own
worm bin,
and make
dude.
your own.
I
know
really
you
do.
eat
I
healthy
really
enough
do.
that you guys and you garden too.
Tell me,
all that
so
g- all
tell
that
me about
gardening
that,
shit.
man.
Oh,
What do you guys do? You got like a
Oh, dude.
I have an urban worm bin.
word, dude?
Or an urban
Dude
worm
lives
bag.
right down the street from me. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Those things are fucking fantastic.
I-
I started mine. What's it been? Maybe fucking shit, 2 or 3 years now. Maybe
that's what do you think? Urbanwormcompany.com.
urban worm bag or something like that. Yeah, urban worm bag. Now, I literally have had it so long that I've gone through a huge learning curve. And what I've learned is that it is so simple. No matter what you do, you can't do it wrong. Worms create their own fucking population. So they adjust their population based on how much you feed or don't feed. So the more organic material you put in the top of this fucking thing, the more worm castings you're going to get out at the bottom because your worm population starts to grow. It's amazing. It's so simple. And especially if you have like you garden cat. So I know
Ooh.
all your garden clippings go in the top of this thing. Like any extra cucumbers you harvested too many or too many tomatoes, everything goes in this thing, man. And the worms
They
eat it up.
like
and
free
what about
worm
like
castings.
leftover. How about like leftover DiGiorno pizza?
as
the
long as
worms
it's
eat
not
that?
cheese,
It's-
bread, or
you're-
meat, right? You want
5-day-old.
cheese bread or meat
DiGiorno
or
pizza.
avocado.
avocado.
No,
No,
avocado
you can do avocado fine.
The worms love avocado.
Yeah,
they
they-
love avocado and they fucking love watermelon.
He
Holy
has this
Oh.
urban worm bin, and then I have a regular
Yep.
layer one that he bought me. And then you can turn any
Ooh,
tote
look at
into a worm
these.
bin.
Oh, let's
And-
I
see
like the
that.
fancy ones.
Like
Mushroom
Clackamas Coots
forest.
gets a huge tote, puts a bunch of
Ooh.
These
shit in
didn't
there,
exist
and
when
comes
I
back.
got mine.
Patriotic as
months
fuck,
later.
Mine's a
boy.
much older model than this for
Yeah.
sure.
Yo, it's actually it is what it says it is, man. Like it's meant to go in like a house
Mhm.
and be.
Exactly. Mine sits in my basement. So you can't like it's not something you want to put in the garage if you're in freezing temperatures. If your
All right,
garage
word.
stays like relatively normal, that's fine. But it's
So I
something
could
like
like
I
I
put
could
in my
have
basement.
this up in my attic, like in my like.
Sit right
Fuck,
next to your
dude.
grow room.
What
Fuck
am I
yeah, dude.
doing? Actually, what I was doing is picking up worm castings at this guy's house because he makes them too. I was just like,
See,
I could
it's
buy
so
his
simple,
product
though.
or I could just buy his worm castings. And I
It
went
is
with
so
option
simple.
B.
Don't you have to like do a mixture of organic material? I mean, it's all organic material, but at like
so what
and
I've started doing
paper and
is
stuff?
really simple. Is the worms fucking love it. So I put all my like table scraps in the top of this thing. That's like a lot of my green material now, all the garden clippings that I can like genuinely fit in this small bag. I create more than this bag can handle, so I need to get a couple more probably at this point, to be honest. Because your worm population grows so much that they consume, like I probably have 10,000 worms in this bag at this
No
time
shit.
right now.
Well,
Whoa.
what
And
are you
they
going to
eat
do with all
so
of them?
fucking quickly.
Well, like you said,
create
they
the worm casting.
auto-regulate.
So now what I
right?
do, exactly, they auto-regulate themselves. So now to keep my population heavy, what I do is I take wheatgrass and I take wheat seed and I grow wheatgrass mats. And I flip them over top on that every once in a while. And you start to see your worms come up in that. And that's when they really start to fucking really breed heavy.
Okay.
They get it in this worm or the wheatgrass mat and it's just
They eat
huge.
it
I can
and
post a
fucking
picture.
it, basically.
I'll post a picture
Like a
in your
dream come
Discord
true
general
for
chat.
some people.
It is, dude. It is breeding grounds 101. So then what I do is I take
It's like
compost.
a nightclub for worms.
Yeah,
It's like
somewhere in Germany.
So instead of trying to figure out
the
my
shitty
brown
techno
degree,
music.
They're all
instead of
related
trying
to
to figure
drama.
out instead of trying to figure out my brown to green ratio and shit, I just put compost on top of all that shit.
Yeah.
So, and then they get on top.
Alright.
So after the green mats, I put a bag of fucking compost if I have to buy it because I'm just starting to grow my own or build my own compost pile. So I'm not confident yet. So a bag of like mushroom compost for $5 on top of that afterwards. And then they get in and then they immediately turn that compost into fucking worm castings. So
Okay.
That's
dude,
cool,
it's
Yeah.
it's
can do a
you
lot
can
of
end
really
up
cool
with
stuff
so
with it.
many.
All
So
right.
I've
All right.
top dressed my
I'm
entire worm or
kinda
my
sold,
3x3
not
bed
gonna lie.
2 different times, both of them with no money at all, other than the 5 bag of fucking compost.
All right.
And wheatgrass seed is
Your
super
own
easy to
compost.
grow.
Wheatgrass
like
is
your
easy.
own compost. Like
Well, yep.
homegrown compost.
That's the way to go
Well,
eventually.
and
yeah.
then-
You want to get to your own compost pile and pulling it out of or leaf mold. I've used leaf mold one time instead of buying a bag of compost. I used leaf mold. So leaf mold, I take my leaves and I rake them up at the end of the year and I put them in a black bag. And then it turns into this black, rich fucking gold. It's like
Hell
the most
yeah.
beautiful. It looks like peat moss almost. And when it's at its richest, blackest, fine. Oh man. So I
That's
put
cool,
that in
dude.
there a couple different times.
Getting hard. He's so excited. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm going to need you to do for me is come back into the Cultivation Conversation Discord just for like
Yeah.
a hot minute and post some pictures and show the people what you've been up to, making your leaf mold in your earth box. All this
All the
within
fun
your
stuff.
worm castings, man. That
Yeah,
sounds
no,
fun, man. I
One
want
more,
to see it. I
one more
really
point,
do.
Captain.
Johnny
Before
can
we
do
move
it.
I
on.
miss you. I miss having you in the
We all
nest,
do.
Johnny.
Oh God.
I do.
I am far
You
too
too,
average.
Rev. I miss you.
Hey man,
You are
Revnet's not gone anywhere. And by the way, I did not intend to speak in the third person, but I'm just gonna start. Nah, fuck, I already fucked it up. No,
Love you
one more point
guys.
before we move on from the worm bins, though, because I highly encourage it to everyone. But it also leads to a really cool side effect: is if you have a worm bin, you can start making your own sprouted seed teas, and you blend it and give the remnants to the worms, so nothing's wasted, and they're fed, and
Interesting.
your fucking plants are stoked on life.
Love
Man,
it.
that's what a really cool way to like close the loop, as they say,
Exactly.
like in your house.
One small victory that you can be like, hey man, I feel like I'm doing everything right.
You can apply these methods in a synthetic nutrient system too, or a monster.
Absolutely. I'm
Use
a
nice
big,
top
big
dress.
fan of sprouted seed teas. Sprouted corn teas, my favorite.
Enzymes, man.
Yeah. What about like a worm casting?
You've
top
been using
dress?
worm
Would
castings
that-
for years to make my teas. I mean, you
Fuck
can't
yeah.
advocate that shit enough, man. A lot of people think that you can't use that type of shit with salts, but you can.
Yeah.
Love
Easy
it.
sprout.
Get one of these
Easy
things.
Sprout.
Or just use a mason jar, man. Don't have people buy something that they don't. Just use a mason jar they already have.
That
Unless
works
you're
too,
getting a
but this
deal
is
from them,
easier.
then we'll plug it, bro. Just kidding.
Unless
This
we
has
got
nice
a code,
drain.
we ain't
This
plug it
has.
now.
I like that one because there's holes in the
Yeah,
bottom
no,
of
we've
it, so
talked
it
about
makes
you
for a
can
nice drain.
Mm.
It makes for a nice when you go to drain your seeds, it's just
Word.
easier in those.
All right,
But
that's
it's super
cool, man.
easy. Dude, I went to the local like Amish store and bought a 50-pound bag of wheat seed for $20. And my chickens eat sprouted fucking seeds. The worms eat sprouted seeds. The
Perfect.
sprouted seeds. It's so easy. It's so cheap, and it's so easy to do yourself, and it's so beneficial to your plants. It's incredible.
It's funny, man. You know what? I just drank a beer. You know what that kind of is a sprouted seed tea.
It's
little
enzymes,
bit.
man.
Enzymes,
Yep.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
malted
Malted barley.
Yeah.
is in
Exactly.
fact a sprouted seed.
It's
Yep.
fantastic.
And if you wanted to make a sprouted seed tea,
I know.
easy as
Just
possible,
grab
get
some
yourself
shit
some
from the
fucking
fucking
malt.
brewery.
Exactly. Just
Exactly.
grab
It's
some malt
amazing the
and
overlap.
grind it up and soak it in some water, grind it up in your blender, just malted barley. That's it.
That's funny,
That is
man.
literally sprouted wheat
Oh yeah, man.
or sprouted barley.
Go to the brewery store, get rice
Sprouted
hulls
seed
and
tea
malted
is so
barley.
easy.
Amen.
Exactly. If you didn't want to sprout, if sprouting your own intimidated you, exactly. Malted barley
Well,
is so easy, and it's already sprouted. Put it in a
There you
blender,
go.
some
If
water,
sprouting
water it in.
seeds is too much for people,
Enzymes.
they pick the wrong hobby because this is what this hobby
Seriously.
is.
Very,
I can't plant more than one a
love
fucking
that.
week. I'm sorry.
I love that. All right. It's time for our weekly segment here. We're gonna do a no-knock garden raid
Oh shit! Don't
on
shoot
one
the
of our
dogs.
beloved Patreon supporters, who in fact
Don't
has
you,
a dog.
Jersey?
We are not gonna touch the corgi
Leave that
tonight,
to the
my friend.
ATF.
I promise. But we are
And
coming after
nothing
you,
else save the
grown in
corgi.
the mitten,
Oh,
coming
my
into your
goodness.
garden, sir.
And Her Majesty Queen Jester.
We're gonna
Queen
show the
Jester.
people what you got growing on.
This bastard.
Oh, let me get my.
Oh, I
there
thought
you
he had
go.
the
You got
captain
my face
sticker
out of the
for a
way there.
second.
Thank you.
I was gonna be furious.
So this is a very, very nice looking plant. I think he grows a lot of autos. I know he's an
Yes.
auto guy.
Yeah, he does he's perpetual and he grows autos and he does I swear to God, he plants a new wave every fucking day.
It feels like every week he's planting another.
yeah, that looks nice
seed.
and happy.
I'm actually seeing a type of SIP system here.
Yeah, he uses
One of
AC
those-
infinity
He's-
bases.
Right, the watering
Self-watering.
bases.
Yeah.
Self-watering.
That's got to be the
bases.
only product
AC
AC Infinity has that can't catch your house on fire. Use code Cultivation if you need to get it.
Oh.
Not yet.
You gotta throw that in there. I was just about to do it, man. That's so funny.
Their inline fans, I think, have been proven by the test of time, I'd say.
Hey man, as much
That's not to
is
say
that
they
one of those
can't.
behind it? Is that a Gen 1 or a Gen 2? I gotta just question. The Gen 1s stopped oscillating.
He does have a
Yep.
good plan though. If any of the other shit catches on fire, his tent is full of standing water.
Oh, we're just making fun, Mitten. I promise. We love you.
He's a great dude. He knows
This
that.
is a beautiful looking auto. If I had to guess, right, day-wise, right? I'm thinking day 27, maybe 25. Something like that. Maybe 30.
Do you have the
I'd
answer,
say
or are we just
30.
guessing? Because
He's
if
just
I
we
don't
don't
know
guessing.
at all. I'm just
Okay.
guessing. If I
No, no.
see a plant like this, I want it to be X days old.
Yeah,
Auto
okay.
flower
Okay.
wise.
I was just gonna
Like
say if we
that-
can't find the right answer, it's day 40. I'm just kidding. Prove me wrong.
No, it's gotta be it's gotta be in the 20s.
Yeah.
I would think you're in looks like
I
a
don't know. I'd
tiny,
say
maybe
I'd say
a
potentially early 30s there.
3-gallon pot. I'm gonna guess.
Mm,
So
maybe
that
not
is one of the
3 gallon.
deciding factors on your
Right. How
overall
big is the pot?
size.
Happy.
Let us know, man.
regardless.
How do those AC
Badgers-
bases work out for you?
27, 35.
I've
both
heard
of
mixed
those.
reviews.
So, what he has to do is actually he has to clip his roots back. They come out the bottom of his pot so often that he has to clip them back, and he changes his wicks every time he grows. But he
Really?
fucking loves them. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
he
his
does
system
well.
down. It's yeah. We've had him on the show. He fucking
Yeah.
Oh,
he
word.
told us about it. Yeah.
He kept trying to bully
So
me
they
into
do work
perpetual.
pretty damn
Yeah.
well. You
All
just
right.
have to make sure you change the wicks and trim, and you have to prune the
Oh,
roots.
they like grow down.
I gotta do that
into
shit all the
Yeah,
time
well,
with
it's
auto
like,
pots.
you know, Yeah, well, that's why they give you that like copper lining.
copper
Yeah, don't be
sock.
afraid to
That's
cut
what
your
they
roots.
get.
The plants don't even notice it. They really don't.
What you do in earth boxes is you don't notice until
take, like, a
months
little
later when nothing is growing
torch.
If you're
anymore.
healthy, if you're healthy, they don't.
Yeah, yeah.
notice
If your
it.
plants like looks like shit, I mean,
Yeah.
the-
But hey, don't take shots at me like
I know.
that.
these look.
What the
This
fuck?
fucking plant needs something. Monster said it doesn't even notice a root cut. But
His
it's
plants look
unhealthy as
really,
shit.
really good. They look happy and healthy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
He does a really well job.
he's
Alright,
a
we got-
machine,
Leaves all
man.
up in the air.
Someone in the chat says they love the bases. What up?
Oh hell yeah!
What up, Doe Grow?
What up, Doe?
Because he loves the bases. Cool.
Nice.
What's up, buddy?
What up, Doe?
Thanks for
Thanks
stopping
chiming
by.
in, man. Yeah. So I'm looking at what I see here as a nice. This brings me back to my hand watering days, man. When I got to use the milk crate method, love doing that. Where you like raise up your plants to the level of the tallest
Yeah.
plant in your tent. It works fantastic when you're doing a perpetual grow style. You can find them out back of your local Walmart.
Our buddy Matt Fratt says he keeps his moms on him
Tell him
too, so
Captain
they
sent you.
totally work well.
That's fun. I've seen people make worm bins out of these. Can you do that? Or it has to be like an enclosed thing.
Out of what?
Out of what have I seen people make out of these? Milk crates. I guess just like
Oh, you could totally, if you wanted to, you could put like cardboard around it and stack them,
Yeah.
and then so you could separate the
Mhm.
layers. I mean, I wouldn't advocate for going out and making it out of that because you'd have to rectify the holes.
Are you an
fucking
expert
everywhere,
at making things out of cardboard, Rev? Would you
know,
like to
dude.
tell
You
us
should
about
have
it?
seen my first house before they broke it down. Yeah, I'm still suing the city. Okay, it's a public park.
Can we can we real quick just tell that story? I mean, just like for 30 seconds.
yeah,
so,
of course.
I think Rev could tell it better than anybody. So go ahead, Rev.
Which
The
story?
free
You
lunch,
gotta remind
the
me, sorry.
lady at the park.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah. So my beautiful partner Megan, she plays tennis, right? And I was sitting there watching her play tennis, and this guy walked up to me, and he was being real friendly, going, hey man, if you'd like to come over here, you can come join us. Oh, this is really fucking weird and everything. Well, they were doing lunch programs for the homeless in the park, because he was doing the public homeless reach. He thought me and my dog were just creepily watching this chick play tennis, so he came up to offer me a free lunch for all the fellow I forget what they call them around here. Shit.
Homeless shelters?
No, there's a name. The unhoused individuals.
Kitchens?
Unhoused
Ah.
individuals, they try and say.
in the politically correct.
Oh my
correct
God.
No,
California.
okay. I got another.
California
It gets worse,
people.
right? Because my shop is on the same street as one of the largest homeless shelters in my county. And there'll be times where they'll come up talking, like I'll be outside and they're smoking or something. They'll come up and be like, "Man, last night was rough in there, huh?" And I'll be like, "What the fuck? I work here. This is my shop, man. I'm sorry. Like I don't." And they're like, "Hey, man, any luck?" Like I guess. But it is very funny. I get mistaken quite often.
California problems, my friend.
One of many.
Well, back to the fucking garden raid
Yeah,
here.
the successful garden.
What do we see? What's going? This is all right. I want to just real quick. This is a plant that looks a couple days older to me, maybe like 34 days old. I'm gonna guess. This is much older. This is a nice looking one.
Look at
That's
that
about the
cola.
fucking
Holy
harvester.
fuck.
No, not quite, Johnny. I'd say like this is your like
This middle row, so it's the
55,
Oh, the one right in the
56
front?
day old auto right here. This is like post stretch. It's in like the third week of bud set. and it's looking really nice. It's
56, huh?
I would guess maybe
Yeah.
60 tops, but like
I
in a 3-gallon container, he's seeing a little bit of that like early senescence, I would guess. I'm just guessing this based on the buds, and because the plants behind him we haven't shown yet, like this one,
Ooh.
I would
Yeah.
guess is more towards your like 84 days, nice and ripe, ready to get the fuck out.
Yeah, my time frame's always a little off because I grow such narrow fuckers that like they go 100 days constantly, and it drives me.
Dude, I just have to chime in real quick. I'm sorry, David. I've never seen you before, bud. Fast buds are not the best genetics. They are far from it, man.
I don't know if that dude
Far
knows where
from
the
it,
fuck
dude. Like,
he
do
is.
you work for them? Fast buds are taking over. Prepare yourself.
That's because they
Who
give
are
they
you,
give people
man?
free seeds and tell them to grow them.
That's
Wow.
dude.
Any-
Fast duds, as we call them around here.
I have.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you, Judas.
I'm gonna mute.
Johnny's got nothing
Johnny's
nice to
Johnny,
say.
yeah, Johnny's we've been working with a therapist.
He's just gonna yell. He's gonna yell at the camera. How do I solo you real quick, Johnny? Here. There we go.
No.
Do it again. This is what we have to say about that. Yeah.
All right. Yep.
I love it.
That's too much. He
Nope.
likes
All
this
right,
too much.
get him
Stop
out of
it.
here.
Just about
Get
like
him
that.
out of here. How do I stop
No,
this?
now it's
Stop
hell
it.
for him.
Stop it.
There we go.
I said something along the lines of and throwing him in the
Yeah,
fucking toilet.
Brack remembers. I know how to
Yeah.
germinate fast bud seeds. I
yeah.
posted a video a
Man,
while back on how to
listen.
do that.
We could give you a literal list of autoflower breeders who are far, far better than fast duds. Okay, don't fall for the marketing gimmicks. They are a white label seed company. They just contract breed and nothing else. They have really nice strain descriptions and nice pictures sometimes, but like more
don't know
often
what
than
you're
not,
getting. They
man,
got a-
I see stunted
They,
plants.
they
and
got a
fucking
couple of good
nibs.
ones, but that's
PR.
about it. A couple of good ones, by luck. Every
is-
dog has its day.
It's wild.
Throw enough shit
Yeah.
against the wall,
Right?
something
What
will
do they
stick.
say?
I'm still
Even
looking
a-
for mine though. One of these days.
Like even a broken clock
Clock is right
like,
twice
is
a day.
right twice a
Right,
day.
twice
or
a day.
Blind
Even
chicken
a
gets a little corn once in a while.
a broken squirrel sees its shadow twice a day. Or something. I forget. I forget what that.
That's a total.
So anyway,
cultivating thing.
back to the fucking raid. We are in your house, looking at your garden, man. By the way, love your Grow Me board of
Oh, yeah.
fucking stickers. I need to send you one of mine. Just got them.
I don't even got one.
I was gonna
Well,
say, wait a minute.
by the
Wait a
way,
Not that I
just
would.
got
Not
'em
that I
made.
deserve to be in front of the line. I'm not saying that. I'm not that vague.
I have a very limited quantity, but
Yeah.
please, by all means, if you're a Grow Me sticker collector, an aficionado, as it were, of Grow Me
fan.
stickers,
Can't we just
like
be a
I am,
fan? What if I'm just a fan?
Yeah,
Can I have
no.
autographs?
you at least need to be connoisseur level,
Fuck.
okay? But they
What does
are
Johnny have to
nice,
do
man. They're
to get
they're
me a
like
sticker?
a hologram captain,
Those are dope.
Oh,
right?
Oh, he's fancy, huh?
I've been lacing the town with them where I live. They're
In
you
the
know?
town where I live.
In the town where G3 lives.
There you
and
go.
every town in between. But yeah, if you find one in the wild, you win a prize. Always. So again, this is what I whoa. This is what I would say.
And
I would
Look at that beauty.
expect to see. Yeah, what a beautiful plant. Beautiful purple buds.
Yeah, he
Nice,
has a
dense,
system and he
easy
has it
trim
down.
job.
And I love it.
Really to a science.
Lovely fade, by the way. This is what I would want to see at like 84 days, like when I am ready to chop it. Most autoflowers that are not like mostly narrow leaf are going to be done
Oh, for
looking
sure.
like this within that time frame. But well done, my friend. Like that's
He's a master.
fucking beautiful.
yeah, it looks
plant.
great. Nice and chunky.
Oh,
Love the
man.
fade too.
That's purple.
Also,
but I
if you
want it.
see
Purple.
any of his posts on Instagram, he's always curated it to like the best 90s soundtrack. So it like cycles between like he'll have like Talking Heads, Bush, all these like different Sublime. You know, he's very well done.
A man of culture,
A
I
man
see.
of '90s culture, the pinnacle.
You can't
of
mention
humanity.
Bush and say a man of culture. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna shit on the dude. We're trying
we
to
lost the
celebrate.
Hey, at
Bush in
least
the
get
80s,
16
okay?
Stone was a
Okay,
good
I'll
album,
give
okay?
I'll give
Yes.
Gavin shitbag that, but the rest of it was trash after that.
There's no sex in your violence, dude.
Dude, Glycerine, come on.
Come on, I can't. If
That
I
is-
hear
that
that
is
song one more
very
time, I'll
nice.
put a bullet in my head. They used
You're showing
they
your
used to
age.
fucking play
Play it.
that song all the
play it.
fucking time, dude. The same 4 chords over and over again.
Oh yeah,
I know. It's
It just
literally
drives
the
me
1,
insane
5,
because,
6,
yeah.
4 progression too. It's like every song
It
ever.
Look, Captain was right.
Lovely.
That album was good.
Lovely.
It was a good album, and I liked it when it came out. But no, that was it. Anyway,
well, I just wanted to.
No,
I mean,
we're-
Didn't he get to marry Gwen Stefani? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
for,
When
for
she
a
was-
while
when
there,
she
right?
was,
Now
like,
she's married to
peak,
that
too.
like country dude, though,
Yeah.
right?
Johnny's favorite.
For a little.
Who? Garth Brooks?
Garth Brooks.
I just
forget,
assumed
man.
of everybody here
Blake
that you would have
Shelton?
known.
Ooh.
Blake Shelton. Blake
Don't you
Shelton.
know because
Ooh.
you're super into JT? I just assumed.
That I would know country music
I did-
because of Justin.
No,
Timberlake?
terrible music.
Oh,
Begin
Oh,
terrible.
terrible music as a genre.
we need the cymbal and hi-hat.
Right. All right,
love
guys.
Johnny too
Back
much.
to the
To
Mittens
grow.
Garden here. What can you tell me about this plant? What do you observe?
I believe it's a cannabis plant. I'm just gonna go out on a limb.
I told you we were going to
Roger
ruin the
that.
show.
That was too
Affirmative.
Am I right? Do I get a prize?
good. No, I don't think so.
I would put a wager.
Jury's
Jury's
out.
out.
Depends who's
So what I'm
asking.
noticing is the top cola specifically kind of got wider as it densed up. Normally you get kind of a pyramid
that has,
shape
like,
to your
block
fucking cola. Instead, this one
structure.
kind of went blocky. Exactly.
Mm.
Do you
As
know
long as we're
what?
noticing.
Do you know what this is? Because I know he just finished up not too long ago an all Alebrije wave.
Ah, maybe this is the
So it
purple
might be-
Pantaranya.
Yeah, I know that he was growing. I think he put down 4 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, he has
Dude,
some
that's
serious
probably what
talent.
this is, man. That's
It's
what
definitely a
that's-
narrow
It's
leafer.
possible.
The flower structure on that screams.
Did
fun.
you see? Do you remember G3's?
That looks like the one
Fucking
G3
gorgeous,
grew.
too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Holy shit, man! I mean, really, really well done, Corgi. I mean, you
Yeah,
know
he
what
really-
you're doing with these
Corgi.
autos, man. You really
Corgi.
do.
You called him
Corgi
his
Daddy.
dog's breed.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what-
Corgi Daddy. That's
That's what his
Good job.
IG screen
job.
has, like
Corgi.
Corgi and the mitten, right?
We're gonna go
Good job,
ahead and
Pit
We're
Bull.
growing the mitten. I'm sorry. I just associate him with the sticker I have of him, which is his dog. It's a corgi.
Jester.
I will
It
say
is.
though,
I
just
got it right here.
just
Jester.
just to make sure that this episode is a success, YAG will be claiming growing the mitten. That's YAG's garden too.
Oh,
Now.
all right. That's your dude. Fuck.
Just
Well,
come in
go
your,
listen
his
to
garden.
our. Go
I
listen
mean,
to
look
our
at the
little.
size of his ego. Look at his sticker compared to everyone else's goddamn sticker.
That's funny.
Hashtag
dude.
how can I make my tent less reflective?
Exactly.
No, dude, I have one of his stickers. I love it. And
Yeah,
it's-
you're sacrificing some PPFD.
dude,
putting
I'm
up
all
that
for
Gromy
it
wall.
because I'd rather look
I
at.
got mine on my fridge.
Yeah, see, you're a genius. And then I forget who it is in our community, but their wife turned them on to making them into stickers, or not stickers, but magnets, putting them onto like magnet shit and tape it, cutting them out. That's a genius idea to do with all the stickers.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking
All right,
handy enough
coming
to do that
next.
shit.
Captain Magnets. Put them on your fridge.
There you
Throw them
go.
on your car.
They feel like they're watching you wherever you go. That's the thing with these. They're just like their
Judging you.
eyes are just
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? For a couple
silently
extra
looking.
$100, we probably could make them watch you.
I know. You're just sticker mule. What can you do for me?
It's
What
only
kind of
for-
algorithm you got?
Yeah,
That's who I use.
All
I
right,
use
let's
sticker
get rid
mules
of
when I
this
did
screen.
mine,
Yeah.
too.
If
That's
anybody ever needs stickers made, there is no other company. You can get them cheaper other places, but Sticker Mule stickers will never fade, ever. And they just
quality is nice.
stand
That's
there.
when I got mine.
They're unreal.
Dude, I love Sticker App. I've used it every time for my stickers, and mine are indestructible.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
never
You two should fight to
There
the
you
I've
death.
never heard of them, but as long as they're using good quality vinyl, then I'm sure they're
Yep.
good stickers.
They are. They're
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
There
so
was-
many choices.
I saw
too.
one online the other day that I was looking into, and it turned out they were local to me, but I forgot the name. So let's pretend I said nothing.
All right.
Okay.
That's the
We
best
will.
words of
We
wisdom
will.
I've never
You know
heard.
what? We're just gonna pretend you said nothing for the
Always.
last hour and a half.
Please do.
That's
I think
why
I always
everyone
say.
would be
That's
better
pretty
off
average.
in general.
I think
Who
we-
invited these YA.G.S.I.P on this fucking show?
That would be
No.
me.
Yeah.
we encourage all you guys out there. Listen, go listen to the Your Average Grow podcast. You can find it anywhere you found our podcast. It's our brother podcast, sister podcast. If you kind of like our style,
Incest.
you probably
baby,
like
that's all
their
that
style.
matters.
What else was I gonna say?
Fuck.
Fuck, I don't know.
I
You guys
often
just
fuck
have
these
that.
guys.
what can
I
we?
often have
Where?
that.
What do you guys have? What do you guys to
yeah.
plug? Can you know any last words for the audience?
I
is
just
kinda
want to
what I'm
thank
getting
you
at.
for having us on.
Oh, it
Man.
was fun.
It was. Hopefully, we didn't embarrass ourselves too much.
Oh man, you
No, it
guys
went
are
too
great.
fast.
Hopefully, I want to say that the YAG curse gets broken. The last person who had us on their podcast stopped producing them. So
is so
please don't
true.
quit.
Oh, I wanted to mention the mitten
Oh,
episode you did with the mitten. Just
Yes.
go listen to that.
Yeah.
Go listen to that
And
one. Check him out. But
he's a
yeah,
dear friend of ours. We're gonna have him back on too, and I'm sure he's a nice dude.
hell yeah.
Super talented.
Well,
Oh yeah, shout out to
guys.
everyone that watched. Thank you again to anyone and everyone that puts up with our bullshit.
Amen to that.
Yeah,
As
we
if,
love
if
our
you're
crew in the
if you are a
chat.
member of the Your Average Grow Discord and you're not in ours for whatever fucking reason,
Yeah,
like
go
come on
over.
over. You're welcomed. If you're a friend of theirs, you're a friend of ours. Tell them. Well, don't tell them Johnny or the Rev sent you. Just
Yeah.
come
No,
in
tell
on a
'em-
blank slate.
Yeah, you'll come in with less hate if you just come in without knowing him.
No, mention you heard of us. You heard it here. Johnny and the Rev sent you, and yeah, we'll
Tell 'em
welcome you right in.
3
And-
simple things. Don't be a dick. Mind your own business and go with Frog.
There you go.
Amen
Amen.
to that, man. Amen to that. And I think we can all agree, though, that the most important thing you can all do for yourselves is not to get caught.
Amen.
All right? All right. Well, until next week, over and out.
Don't get caught.
Thank you. It doesn't feel right unless you say it the
I
right
was
way.
gonna
you know
say,
what I mean?
don't really. Everybody
I was
else says it too, but
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll just
I just liked
Don't
hearing
get
it in
caught.
person, man. Even though I watch all the time.
Green apple Skittles.